The 9 Alchemical Steps to Heal Financial Guilt with the Forgiveness. Ledger, what if I told you that the greatest obstacle to your wealth isn't your job, your investments, or your bank account? What if it's a ghost from your financial past? A silent, invisible weight made of every money mistake, every regret, every dollar you resent losing, and every opportunity you feel you squandered. It's an energy that clings to you, whispering that you don't deserve more, that you're not good enough, that you'll just mess it up again, and you can't out-earn it. You can't out-hustle it. You can only heal it. Today, we do more than talk about that healing. We perform it. Welcome to the Abundance Alchemist. I am Elias Vance, and this is your guide to one of the most powerful rituals in spiritual finance, the forgiveness ledger. This journey is a sacred act of alchemy. It is about taking the dense, heavy lead of financial guilt, shame, and resentment, and transmuting it into the pure, radiant gold of freedom, peace, and worthiness. This isn't just about feeling better. It is a strategic clearing of the energetic pathways through which abundance must flow. For as long as those pathways are clogged with the debris of the past, you will find yourself in a constant struggle, fighting against your own energetic current. In the chapters that follow, we will walk through 9 distinct alchemical steps. We will move from understanding to preparation, from ritual to integration. This is not a passive listening experience. It is an active invitation to participate in your own transformation. So find a quiet space, take a deep breath, and let us begin the work. Introduction. The unseen weight of financial karma. Before we can perform the ritual, we must first understand the nature of the energy we are working with. Many of you are familiar with the law of attraction, the principle that like attracts like. You hold the vibration of wealth, and you attract wealth into your reality. It sounds simple, almost too simple. And for many, it becomes a source of profound frustration. Why? Because you can repeat affirmations all day. You can visualize Lamborghinis until your mind aches. But if your energetic basement is filled with toxic waste from your financial past, you are operating from a place of profound contradiction. You are shouting, "I am abundant," while your subconscious energy is screaming, "But remember that credit card debt? Remember that failed business? Remember how you felt when you couldn't pay that bill?" This unseen weight is what we can call financial karma. It's not a punishment from the universe, not at all. It is simply an energetic ledger of unresolved emotional debts. Every financial decision we make that is rooted in fear, guilt, or shame creates an energetic residue, a charge, and this charge accumulates over time, forming a dense cloud around our financial identity. It affects our decisions, it colors our perception of opportunity, and it dictates our sense of what is possible for us. I remember speaking with a client, a brilliant woman who had built a successful consulting practice. On paper, she was a success, but she was perpetually exhausted, anxious, and could never seem to hold on to the money she made. It came in, and it flew right back out. We did the work, and we discovered that she carried deep, unresolved shame from her early 20s when she had to declare bankruptcy. Even though she was now earning 6 figures, her energetic body was still vibrating at the frequency of that past failure. She was subconsciously creating situations to get rid of money, because on a deep level, she still believed she was the person who couldn't handle it. The problem wasn't in her bank account. It was in the story she was still carrying, This is the nature of financial karma. It's not about the numbers. It's about the narrative. It's the emotional tapestry woven from our past experiences with money. Guilt over spending frivolously. Shame over debt. Resentment towards someone who wronged us financially. Fear from a childhood where money was always scarce. These are not just memories. They are active, living energies within your field, and they have a powerful gravitational pull. This is why you might find yourself repeating the same financial patterns, even when you know better. It's why you might feel a knot in your stomach when you think about checking your bank balance. It's that quiet, nagging voice in the back of your mind that whispers you're not good enough, that you don't deserve it, the one that makes your stomach clench when you look at a price tag. That is the voice of your unresolved financial karma. The purpose of the forgiveness ledger is to confront this energy directly, to bring it out of the shadows and into the light. Forgiveness, in this alchemical context, is not about condoning past actions or letting others off the hook. It is an act of sovereign energetic liberation. It is you, the alchemist, declaring that the past no longer has power over your present or your future. It is the conscious decision to cancel the emotional debt, to clear the ledger, and to reset your financial frequency to zero. From this neutral, clear space, true abundance can finally take root. This work may feel uncomfortable. It might challenge everything you've been taught about money. It's okay to feel a sense of resistance. If this idea makes you uncomfortable, good. That means we're touching on a truth that needs to be healed. Acknowledge the feeling, and then make the conscious choice to proceed anyway. The freedom on the other side is worth it. Chapter 1. The Principle of Alchemical Forgiveness. To truly grasp the power of the ritual we are about to undertake, we must redefine the word forgiveness. In our common understanding, forgiveness is often a passive act, something we grant to another almost as a favor. It can feel like we are letting someone get away with something, especially when it comes to financial betrayal or our own perceived failings. But this is a limited third-dimensional view of a multi-dimensional principle. Alchemical forgiveness is different. It is an active, strategic, and profoundly self-serving act of energetic transmutation. It is not about forgetting what happened. It is about dissolving the emotional charge attached to what happened. Think of a memory as a simple, neutral data point in your mind's computer. The memory of going into debt is just data, but it's the files attached to it, the shame.exe, the guilt.wave, the fear.jpg, that corrupt the system and drain its power. Alchemical forgiveness is the process of deleting those corrupted files, leaving only the clean data of the lesson learned. It operates on a simple yet profound principle of resonance. Your energy field is constantly broadcasting a signal to the universe. When you hold on to resentment, guilt, or shame, you are broadcasting a frequency of lack, injustice, and unworthiness. The universe, in its impersonal wisdom, simply matches that frequency. It brings you more circumstances that make you feel lack, injustice, and unworthiness. It's not a punishment. It's physics. The law of attraction is also the law of resonance. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So when you are holding on to anger at a former business partner who cheated you, you are tying a part of your precious life force energy to that person and that event. You are, in essence, broadcasting, "I am a victim of financial betrayal." The universe can only respond by creating more scenarios where you feel victimized or blocked. When you forgive that person, not for them, but for you, you cut the energetic cord. You take your power back. You stop broadcasting the victim frequency and begin broadcasting the frequency of sovereignty and wholeness. The same is true for self-forgiveness. This is often the hardest part. We can be our own harshest creditors, demanding a debt of guilt from ourselves that can never be repaid. Every time you berate yourself for a poor investment, for overspending, for not saving enough, you are reinforcing the energetic signature of "I am bad with money." You are programming your subconscious mind to prove that belief true over and over again. Alchemical self-forgiveness is the act of looking at your past self with compassion and understanding. That version of you was operating with the knowledge, awareness, and emotional capacity they had at that time. They did the best they could. To forgive that self is to release them from their prison, which in turn releases you. It allows you to integrate the wisdom from the mistake without carrying the toxic shame of it. I once worked with a man who couldn't get his new venture off the ground. He was brilliant, his ideas were sound, but he was stuck in a loop of self-sabotage. In our sessions, it came out that years earlier, he had lost his family's savings in a business that failed. The guilt was eating him alive. He felt he didn't deserve success again. His current business wasn't failing because of the market. It was failing because his own energy was strangling it. The turning point came when I asked him to write a letter to his younger self. Not a letter of anger, but of forgiveness. A letter acknowledging his courage for trying, his pain at the outcome, and releasing him from the debt of that failure. It was an incredibly emotional process. But afterward something shifted. It was palpable. Within 6 months, his new business secured its first major contract. He hadn't changed his business plan. He had changed his energetic signature. He had forgiven the debt. This is the core of the principle. Forgiveness is not about morality. It is about energetic hygiene. It is the most powerful tool you have to clear your financial frequency. It is the alchemical solvent that dissolves the hardened residue of the past, allowing the clear, pure energy of abundance to flow through you without obstruction. This isn't a soft spiritual concept. It is the most practical, results-oriented financial strategy you will ever employ. Because it addresses the root cause of financial struggle, not just the symptoms. It changes the alchemist, and in doing so, it changes the results of their alchemy. Chapter 2. Preparing the Sacred Space. Mind, body, and environment. An alchemical ritual is not something you rush into. The potency of the work is directly proportional to the intention and preparation you bring to it. Before you ever put pen to paper for your forgiveness ledger, you must prepare the vessel for transformation. And that vessel is your mind, your body, and your immediate environment. This is not a superficial step. It is the act of signaling to yourself and to the universe that what you are about to do is sacred and significant. First, let's prepare the environment. Choose a time and place where you know you will be undisturbed for at least an hour. This is non-negotiable. Turn off your phone. Put a "Do Not Disturb" sign on your door and ensure that the mundane world cannot intrude upon this sacred work. The space itself should be clean and clear of clutter. Clutter is stagnant energy. It is a physical manifestation of a chaotic mind. By clearing your physical space, you are creating a vacuum for new, clear energy to enter. You may wish to enhance the space ceremonially. This is not about empty theatrics. It's about engaging your senses to deepen your state of presence. Light a candle to represent the flame of transformation. Burn sage, palo santo, or incense to purify the energy of the room. You might play soft, ambient, non-lyrical music, something that soothes your nervous system without distracting your mind. Have a glass of water nearby. These small acts create a container for the powerful emotions that may arise. They anchor you in the present moment and signal to your subconscious mind that this is not just another task on your to-do list. This is a rite of passage. Next, prepare your body. Your body is the physical conduit for all energy and emotion. If your body is tense and agitated, your mind will be as well. Before you begin the ritual, take a few minutes to consciously inhabit your body. You might do some gentle stretching. Roll your neck and shoulders. Feel the tension and consciously breathe into it, inviting it to release. The most potent tool for bodily preparation is the breath. The breath is the bridge between the conscious and subconscious, the physical and the non-physical. Let's practice a simple grounding breath together now, even as you listen. Close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Inhale slowly and deeply through your nose for a count of 4, feeling your belly expand. Hold that breath at the top for a count of 4. Then exhale slowly and completely through your mouth for a count of 6. As you exhale, imagine you are releasing all the tension, all the noise, all the worries of the day. Do this at least 3 times. 4. Hold for 4. Release for 6. Feel the shift. Feel your nervous system downshifting from a state of alert doing into a state of calm being. This simple act tells your body it is safe, allowing the emotional armor to soften and making you receptive to the deeper work. Finally, and most importantly, prepare your mind. Your mind will likely be full of resistance. It will tell you this is silly, that it won't work, that you should be doing something more productive. This is the voice of the ego, the guardian of your old identity. Your job is not to fight this voice, but to acknowledge it with compassion and then choose to proceed anyway. Set a clear intention. An intention is a powerful directive to your consciousness. Before you begin writing, state your intention aloud or in your mind. It could be something like, "My intention is to release all financial guilt and shame from my past, to reclaim my power and to open myself fully to the flow of abundance." Or, "I intend to heal my relationship with money by forgiving myself and others completely." Feel the power in that declaration. You are taking command of your own transformation. Remember, this preparation is the act of drawing a circle around yourself, a sacred circle. Inside this circle, you are the alchemist. You are powerful. You are safe. You are in control of the elements of your own consciousness. By taking the time to prepare your space, your body, and your mind, you are creating the optimal conditions for a profound and lasting alchemical transmutation. You are honoring the work, and in doing so you are honoring yourself. Chapter 3. The First Transmutation. Creating your forgiveness. Ledger now. We arrive at the heart of the ritual, the physical act of creating your forgiveness ledger. You will need a few simple tools, a pen that you enjoy writing with, and a notebook or several sheets of paper. This will not be a digital document. The act of writing by hand is a powerful kinesthetic link to your subconscious mind. It slows you down and connects your thoughts to your body in a way that typing simply cannot. This is your ledger. But unlike a financial ledger that tracks credits and debits of money, this ledger will track the energetic and emotional debts that have been weighing on your soul. We are going to create 2 primary sections in this ledger. The first section is titled, Debts Owed to Me, Forgiving Others. In this section, you will write down every single instance you can remember where you felt financially wronged, betrayed or harmed by another person, an institution, or even a circumstance. This is not a time for spiritual bypassing. This is a time for radical, unflinching honesty. Did a parent teach you limiting beliefs about money that have held you back? Write it down. Did a business partner steal from you? Write it down. Did a friend fail to repay a loan, causing you stress and breaking your trust? Write it down. Did a company lay you off unfairly? Write it down. As you write, do not censor yourself. Allow the raw emotion to come through. Write down the name of the person or entity, the specific event, and most importantly, how it made you feel. I resent my father for telling me that wanting money was greedy. It made me feel ashamed of my ambitions. I am angry with my former partner Sarah for not paying back the $5,000. It made me feel foolish and used. I'm bitter about the stock market crash of 2008 because I lost my retirement savings. It made me feel powerless and afraid. Take your time with this list. Memories may surface that you haven't thought about in years. That's a sign that the energy is still there, stored deep in your cellular memory. Keep writing until you feel you have emptied yourself of every grievance, big and small. This act of naming the pain is the first step in disarming it. You are bringing the monsters out of the closet and into the light, and in the light you can see them for what they are. Just old stories, old energies, ready to be released. I know this can be hard, but stay with it. You are lancing the wound to let the poison out. The second section is titled Debts I Owe, Forgiving Myself. If the first section was difficult, this one may be even more so. This is where you turn the light of unflinching honesty onto your own past actions and behaviors. Here you will list every financial mistake, misstep, and regret for which you are still carrying guilt or shame. Again, be specific. I forgive myself for racking up $10,000 in credit card debt in my 20s on things I don't even own anymore. It makes me feel irresponsible and ashamed. I forgive myself for not investing in that property when I had the chance. It makes me feel foolish and full of regret. I forgive myself for undercharging for my services for years because I was afraid to ask for what I was worth. It makes me feel small and unworthy. Write it all down. The impulse purchases, the failed ventures, the times you were not honest with yourself or others about your financial situation, the opportunities you were too afraid to take. Each entry is a chain you have wrapped around your own ankles. By writing it down, you're identifying the shape of the lock on that chain. A woman I guided through this process, a very successful artist, found this part almost impossible. She had a deep-seated shame about a time she had to borrow money from her parents to make rent. Intellectually, she knew it was fine, but emotionally, she saw it as a monumental failure. It became a core belief. I can't support myself with my art. It wasn't until she wrote it down in her ledger, physically seeing the words on the page, that she realized how this one single event from a decade ago was still dictating the prices she set for her paintings today. The act of writing it made the connection conscious, and once it was conscious, she could begin to heal it. As you create your ledger, you are not just writing a list. You are performing an act of extraction. You are pulling the energetic poison out of your system and placing it onto the paper. The paper is now the container for this dense, heavy energy. It is no longer inside you. This is the first and perhaps most crucial alchemical transmutation. You have taken the unseen, amorphous pain from within and given it form and substance in the external world. Now it is no longer a part of your identity. It is simply a list on a page, ready for the next stage of its transformation. If this process is already resonating with you, if you can feel the truth in this work, I invite you to consider sharing this journey with someone you know who might also be carrying these unseen burdens. A simple act of sharing can be the catalyst that changes someone's life. Now let us continue with the second transmutation. Chapter 4. The second transmutation. The alchemy of emotional release. You have now created your forgiveness ledger. You have extracted the poison and placed it on the page. This is a monumental step, but the work is not yet complete. The words on the page are merely symbols for the real substance we are working with, trapped emotional energy. The next transmutation is to fully feel and release this trapped energy from your body. This is where many spiritual practices fall short. They attempt to jump straight from acknowledging a problem to affirming a positive outcome, skipping the crucial step of emotional processing. It's like putting a fresh coat of paint on a rotting wall. It looks better for a little while, but the decay underneath continues to spread. Alchemy requires that we engage with the raw material, the prima materia, which in this case is your pain. With your ledger in front of you, I want you to read through each item, one by one. But this time, you will read it not with your analytical mind, but with your feeling body. As you read each entry, I want you to close your eyes and allow the emotion associated with that memory to surface. When you read about the friend who didn't pay you back, don't just see the words. Feel the sting of betrayal in your chest. Feel the anger, the disappointment. Don't judge it. Don't push it away. Simply allow it to be there. Give it space. When you read about the credit card debt, feel the shame that rises in your gut. Feel the anxiety, the feeling of being trapped. Breathe into it. This is not about wallowing in negativity. It is about honoring what is real. These emotions are simply energy, and energy needs to move. For years, you have been suppressing them, pushing them down, pretending they weren't there. This has required an immense amount of your life force energy. Now you are giving them permission to move through you and out of you. The key to this process is the combination of focused attention and conscious breathwork. As you feel an emotion, let's say it's a knot of guilt in your stomach, I want you to direct your breath to that part of your body. Inhale deeply and imagine you are sending warm, loving, healing energy directly into that knot. As you exhale, imagine the knot softening, dissolving, and releasing from your body with the out-breath. You may feel a tingling sensation. You may feel a wave of heat or cold. You may find yourself wanting to cry or even shout. Allow it. This is emotional alchemy in action. Tears are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign of release. They are liquid alchemy, your body's way of physically expelling old, stagnant energy. I recall a powerful session with a man who was blocked by resentment towards his brother over an inheritance dispute. He was a very stoic, intellectual person and resisted this part of the process. "I'm not an emotional person," he said. But as he read the entry from his ledger, I guided him to breathe into the tightness in his jaw and the tension in his shoulders. Suddenly his composure broke. Decades of suppressed anger and grief poured out of him. It wasn't pretty, but it was profoundly real. Afterwards, he described feeling lighter than he had in 20 years. He said it felt like a physical weight had been lifted from his shoulders. Because it had. It was an energetic weight, but it was just as real as any physical burden. Go through your entire ledger this way, item by item. Feeling, breathing, releasing. This may take some time. Be patient with yourself. This is some of the most profound healing work you will ever do. You are not re-traumatizing yourself. You are liberating yourself. You are allowing the old, stagnant emotional energy to complete its cycle and leave your system for good. By the time you reach the end of your list, you will feel a shift. It may be subtle or it may be dramatic. You might feel tired, as if you've just done a strenuous workout. You might feel a sense of profound peace and emptiness. Both are valid. You have just faced the dragons of your past. You have felt their fire, and you have not been consumed. You have moved the energy. The prima materia is now purified, softened, and ready for its final transformation. Chapter 5. The third transmutation. The ritual of closure and sacred intent. The energy has been named. It has been felt. It has been moved. Now we come to the final and most ceremonial part of our ritual, the act of closure and the setting of a new sacred intention. This step is about sealing the work you have done and consciously programming your energetic field with a new set of instructions for the future. The forgiveness ledger. The physical papers upon which you have written has now served its sacred purpose. It has acted as the container for your pain. It is crucial that you do not keep it. To keep it would be to symbolically hold on to the very energy you have just worked so hard to release. We must now transmute this physical object, returning its energy to the universe in a purified form. The most powerful element for this transmutation is fire. Fire is the great purifier in all alchemical traditions. It transforms matter from one state to another, releasing its stored energy. I ask you to find a safe place to burn your ledger. This could be a fireplace, an outdoor fire pit, or a fireproof bowl or cauldron. Please exercise extreme caution and common sense. The physical safety of this step is paramount. As you prepare to burn the pages, hold them in your hands one last time. But do not reread the painful words. Instead, I want you to infuse the pages with a feeling of gratitude. This may sound paradoxical. Gratitude for your pain. Yes, gratitude not for the suffering, but for the lessons it contained. Gratitude for the strength you developed in surviving it. Gratitude for the wisdom you are now embodying. Thank these experiences for serving you, for showing you what needed to be healed, and then lovingly release them from their service. As you light the pages, I want you to say a few words aloud. This verbal declaration is a powerful act of creation. It could be something you create yourself, or you can use these words. I release these stories, these energies, this pain, to the transformative power of the flame. I release all energetic cords to these people and these events. I release myself from the prison of my own past. I reclaim all of my energy, all of my power, back into myself now. The debts are cancelled. The ledger is clear. I am free. And so it is. Watch the flames consume the paper. Watch the ink, the symbols of your pain, turn to smoke and ash. As the smoke rises, visualize all that heavy, dense energy rising with it, dissipating into the vastness of the cosmos, neutralized and returned to source. Feel the lightness in your own being as you watch this symbolic release. This is not just a symbol, it is an energetic reality. You are performing a powerful act of magic, of conscious reality creation. Once the ashes have cooled, you can dispose of them in a way that feels final and respectful. You might bury them in the earth, returning the energy to be composted into new life. Or you might release them into a body of running water, allowing them to be washed away completely. Now, with the old energy cleared, you are left with a purified, empty space. It is vital that we fill this space with a new high-frequency intention. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you do not consciously choose what to plant in the fertile soil of your cleared consciousness, old weeds may grow back. Take a fresh sheet of paper, and at the top, write, "My new financial reality." Here you will write a series of powerful present tense affirmations that describe the financial life you are now choosing to create. These are not wishes. They are declarations. They are the new code you are writing for your subconscious mind. For example, I am a conscious and joyful steward of my financial abundance. Money flows to me easily, frequently, and from multiple sources. I am worthy and deserving of unlimited prosperity. I have a loving, peaceful, and powerful relationship with money. My wealth is a natural expression of my spiritual worth and my contribution to the world. Write at least 5 of these powerful I am statements. Write them not from a place of desperate wanting, but from a place of calm, centered knowing. Feel the truth of these words as you write them. This new page is not to be burned. This is your new charter, your declaration of financial sovereignty. Place it somewhere you will see it every day, perhaps in your journal, on your altar, or taped to your bathroom mirror. You have now completed the 3 transmutations. You have extracted the pain, released the emotion, and sealed the work with sacred intention. You have taken the lead of your past and alchemized it into the gold of a new beginning. The ritual is complete, but the journey of integration is just beginning. Chapter 6. Recalibrating your resonance. How forgiveness rewires your money frequency. The forgiveness ledger ritual is a powerful, energetic reset. It's like wiping a computer's hard drive of malware and viruses. But what happens after the reboot? You now have a clean system, a clear energetic field. The critical next phase of this alchemical work is to consciously manage and recalibrate your money frequency. Think of yourself as a broadcasting tower. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold creates a vibration. This complex blend of vibrations is your personal frequency, your resonance. For years, your broadcast has likely been distorted by the static of guilt, shame, and resentment from your past. This static created a disharmonious signal that could only attract disharmonious financial experiences. The ritual you just performed has silenced that static. The clarity of your signal is now unprecedented. This is both a great opportunity and a great responsibility. Your money frequency is now exquisitely sensitive to your present moment thoughts and feelings. So how does forgiveness directly rewire this frequency? First, forgiveness collapses victim consciousness. As long as you hold someone else responsible for your financial pain, you are in a state of powerlessness. Victimhood is one of the lowest frequencies you can broadcast. It resonates with helplessness, blame, and scarcity. When you truly forgive, you step out of the victim role and into the role of the creator. You take 100% responsibility for your own energetic state. This shift from "this happened to me" to "this happened for me," for my learning and growth, is a quantum leap in frequency. It moves you from powerlessness to sovereignty. And the universe can only respond to this new, powerful signal by bringing you experiences that reflect your sovereignty. Second, forgiveness heals the worthiness wound. Shame and guilt are direct attacks on your sense of self-worth. They broadcast the frequency of, "I am not deserving." This is perhaps the single most potent blocker of abundance. You can never attract or sustain a level of wealth that exceeds your own sense of deservingness. When you forgive yourself, you're making a profound declaration to the universe. Despite my past actions, I am inherently worthy of love, peace, and abundance. This isn't ego. It's a recognition of your divine nature. Healing your sense of worthiness is like upgrading the wiring in your house. Suddenly you can handle a much higher voltage of prosperity without blowing a fuse. Third, forgiveness opens the heart to receiving. Resentment and bitterness close the heart. They create an energetic armor. And while that armor may feel like it's protecting you, it is also preventing anything good from coming in. You cannot selectively numb yourself. If you numb yourself to pain, you also numb yourself to joy. If you close your heart to being hurt again, you also close it to receiving love, help, and yes, money. Money is simply a current of energy. It flows most freely to those who are open. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the heart and dissolves the armor, turning you into an open and gracious receiver. A client of mine beautifully illustrated this. She was an energy healer, but struggled to charge for her services. She carried immense guilt, a belief that it was unspiritual to receive money for God's work. After she went through a deep forgiveness process, forgiving herself for judging money, forgiving her religious upbringing for teaching her these beliefs, her entire business transformed. She said, "It was like I had been trying to drink from a fire hose with my mouth closed. Forgiveness opened my mouth." She was finally able to receive the energetic exchange of value that she was providing. Her frequency shifted from apologetic lack to joyful service and open receptivity. Your job now is to become a conscious guardian of your new, clear frequency. When old thoughts of guilt or resentment arise, and they may as old patterns die hard, you do not need to panic. Simply notice them without judgment. Acknowledge them as echoes of an old broadcast, and then consciously choose a new thought. Refer back to the affirmations you wrote. Read them aloud. Feel their resonance. You are actively training your mind and your energy field to hold this new, higher frequency until it becomes your default state. This is how you stabilize the gains from your ritual and make abundance your new normal. Chapter 7. The Sustaining Practice. Integrating forgiveness into your daily financial life. The forgiveness ledger was a powerful, deep-cleaning ritual. But just as you wouldn't clean your house once and expect it to stay pristine forever, you must also engage in regular energetic hygiene to maintain your clear financial frequency. The alchemy of forgiveness is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice that you integrate into the very fabric of your daily life. This is about moving from a dramatic ritual to a subtle, sustained state of being. It's about catching the little sparks of guilt or resentment before they have a chance to grow into a wildfire. How do we do this? Through small, consistent, conscious practices. First, I encourage you to adopt a practice of a daily financial gratitude and forgiveness journal. This is a much simpler, faster version of the big ritual. Every evening, take just 5 minutes with a notebook. Write down one thing you are grateful for financially that day. It could be as simple as, I am grateful for the delicious coffee I was able to afford this morning, or as significant as, I am grateful for the new client who signed on today. This attunes your mind to what you have, broadcasting a frequency of sufficiency. Then, in the same entry, ask yourself, was there any moment today where I felt financial fear, guilt, or resentment? Perhaps you felt a pang of guilt spending money on a nice lunch, or you felt a flash of resentment paying a bill. Simply write it down and then write the words, I forgive myself for this feeling. I release it now. For example, I felt guilty for buying that book instead of saving the money. I forgive myself for this judgment and release the need for scarcity. I trust in the abundant flow of resources. This is a microdose of the forgiveness ledger. It prevents the daily accumulation of new energetic debris, keeping your channels clear. Second, transform your relationship with the act of spending and receiving money. Every time you make a purchase, whether it's swiping a card or handing over cash, do so with a silent blessing. As the money leaves your hand, say in your mind, I release this money with love and gratitude. I know it will bless everyone it touches and return to me multiplied. This transforms an act that often carries a subtle energy of lack, I'm losing money, into an act of circulation and trust. It shifts you from a scarcity mindset to a flow mindset. Similarly, every time you receive money, your paycheck, a payment from a client, even finding a coin on the street, pause for a moment. Take a breath and feel genuine gratitude. Say silently, I receive this abundance with an open and grateful heart. Thank you. This practice trains you to become a better receiver, acknowledging and appreciating the flow of prosperity into your life, which in turn invites more of it. Third, practice what I call pattern interruption. The old neural pathways of guilt and shame are well worn. When you find yourself starting down one of those familiar mental roads, berating yourself for a past mistake, for example, you must consciously interrupt the pattern. You can have a physical anchor for this. Some people like to gently tap their heart. Others might snap their fingers. It's a small physical jolt that breaks the hypnotic trance of the negative thought loop. As soon as you interrupt it, immediately replace the thought with one of your new affirmations from the ritual. I am a conscious and joyful steward of my financial abundance. You are literally rewiring your brain, creating new pathways that lead to empowerment instead of shame. And I know this sounds simple. That's the beauty of it. You don't need another complex, overwhelming system. You need simple, sustainable practices that you can weave into the moments of your life. It's not about doing one big thing perfectly. It's about doing 1,000 small things with presence and intention. By integrating forgiveness and gratitude into your daily financial interactions, you are no longer just someone who did a ritual. You are becoming someone who embodies a new consciousness. You are living the alchemy every single day. As we move into these final chapters, I have a question for you. Which of these daily practices, the journal, the spending blessing, or the pattern interrupt, feels like the one you need to implement most in your life right now? Pause for a moment and truly consider it. When this journey is complete, I would be honored if you would share your answer in the comments below. Your declaration is a powerful act of commitment. Chapter 8. Fortifying your field. Sacred boundaries and conscious commerce. You have cleared your past. You are integrating new daily practices. The final piece of the puzzle for sustaining your high-frequency financial life is to manage your interactions with the external world. This is about fortifying your energetic field and engaging in what I call sacred commerce. It involves setting firm, loving boundaries and making conscious choices about where your energy and money flow. First, let's talk about energetic boundaries. Your newly cleared energy field is like a pristine garden. You must be mindful of who and what you allow into it. This means becoming very discerning about the financial conversations you engage in, the media you consume, and the people you allow to influence you. If you have friends or family members who constantly complain about money, who live in a state of perpetual lack and victimhood, you must set a boundary. This doesn't mean you cut them out of your life. It means you lovingly refuse to participate in their low-frequency conversations. When they start complaining, you can gently redirect the conversation, or you can state your boundary clearly. I'm working on creating a more positive relationship with money, and I find that conversations focused on scarcity drain my energy. Can we talk about something else? This will feel uncomfortable at first, but you are the guardian of your vibration. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is a sacred responsibility. Similarly, be ruthless about the media you consume. The news is designed to keep you in a state of fear and anxiety, which are the antitheses of an abundance frequency. Unfollow social media accounts that promote a lifestyle of mindless consumerism or hustle culture that feels out of alignment with your soul. Curate your informational diet as carefully as you curate your nutritional diet. Fill your mind with podcasts, books, and teachings that uplift, inspire, and reinforce your new consciousness of prosperity. Next, we must apply this consciousness to how we engage in commerce. Sacred commerce is the principle of aligning every financial transaction with your values and your energy. It's about asking, does this transaction feel expansive or contractive? When you are buying something, you are casting an energetic vote. Are you supporting a business that aligns with your values? Is the product or service something that will genuinely enhance your life, or is it a purchase driven by fear, boredom, or a feeling of not enough? Before making a significant purchase, take a moment. Place a hand on your heart and ask your inner wisdom, is this in my highest good? Is this an act of self-love and expansion? Learn to trust the subtle signals of your body. An expansive choice will feel light, open, and exciting. A contractive choice will feel heavy, tight, and draining. This principle is even more critical when you are the one selling a product or service. You must ensure that you are offering genuine value, that your pricing is an energetic match for that value, and that you conduct your business with the utmost integrity. When you operate from this place of sacred commerce, money becomes a beautiful byproduct of you living your purpose and serving the world. You no longer have to chase money because you have become a magnetic center of value and integrity, and the energy of money is naturally drawn to you. I once advised a very talented graphic designer who was struggling. He took on any client who would pay him, even those who were disrespectful of his time and whose businesses he didn't believe in. The work felt heavy and draining. I encouraged him to create a sacred commerce filter. He wrote down the core values of his ideal client: respectful, creative, mission-driven. He then made a courageous decision. He fired his 2 most draining clients and decided to only accept new work that passed his filter. It was terrifying for him. For 2 weeks, nothing happened. Then he landed the biggest, most aligned client of his career. By setting a boundary and honoring his own value, He shifted his frequency and attracted a reality that matched it. This is what it means to fortify your field. It is the practice of sovereign choice. You choose what you consume. You choose who you engage with. You choose how you participate in the flow of commerce. Each choice is a declaration of who you are and what you stand for. Each conscious, aligned choice strengthens your new frequency and makes you an unshakable vessel of prosperity. Chapter 9. Embodying the Alchemist. Living a life of integrated abundance, we have journeyed far. We have moved through the shadows of the past, performed the sacred ritual of release, and laid the groundwork for a new way of being. We now arrive at the final step, which is not a step at all, but a state of embodiment. It is the phase where you cease to be someone who is practicing alchemical principles and you become the alchemist of your own life. This is about integrating all that you have learned so deeply that it becomes your natural state. It's no longer something you have to think about. It is simply who you are. This state of embodied abundance is characterized by a few key qualities. The first is a profound sense of trust. You develop an unshakable trust in the flow of life and in your own ability to create and receive. You no longer operate from a place of anxiety or worry about the future. You understand that the universe is inherently abundant and that you are an inseparable part of that abundance. This doesn't mean you become passive or irresponsible. In fact, you become more responsive. You take inspired action when the energy feels right, and you rest and receive when that is what's called for. You release the desperate, grasping energy of hustle and replace it with the calm, confident energy of aligned creation. You trust that when a need arises, a resource will appear to meet it. The second quality is a joyful detachment from outcomes. When you are truly embodied as the alchemist, you find your joy in the process of creation itself, not just in the attainment of a specific financial goal. You set intentions, you do the work, but you release your rigid attachment to how and when it must manifest. This detachment is a high-frequency state. It signals to the universe that your happiness is not dependent on external circumstances, which paradoxically allows those external circumstances to manifest with far greater ease. You are no longer checking every 5 minutes to see if your manifestation has arrived. You are busy living a joyful life, knowing that it will arrive in perfect timing. And the third, most vital quality is the recognition that abundance is not something you acquire. It is something you become. True wealth is not the number in your bank account. It is the richness of your inner state. It's the feeling of peace, freedom, security, and generosity that you cultivate within yourself, regardless of external conditions. When you embody this inner state of wealth, the outer forms of wealth are simply an inevitable reflection. You have become the cause, not the effect. Embodying the alchemist is a lifelong journey. There will be tests. There will be moments when old fears surface. The world will present you with opportunities to forget who you are. And in those moments, you will not judge yourself. You will simply smile, take a breath, and return to your practice. You will revisit your forgiveness journal. You will bless the money you spend. You will protect your energy. You will remember the feeling of freedom you felt as you watched your ledger turn to ash. I've seen this transformation in so many people I've had the honor of guiding. They start the journey seeking a way to make more money. They end the journey having become a person for whom money is no longer the central issue. They have become so rich in spirit, so full of trust, so aligned with their purpose, that financial abundance becomes a natural, effortless, and joyful expression of who they are. They have stopped chasing gold because they have realized they are the gold. This is the ultimate promise of this work. Not a bigger bank account, but a bigger you. A you that is free from the past, powerful in the present, and an open channel for the infinite abundance of the universe to flow through. You have all the tools. You have the knowledge. You are the alchemist. The great work is yours to live. Outro, your journey forward. We have reached the end of this particular guide, but we are at the true beginning of your transformed financial life. You have faced the shadows. You have cleared the energetic debts of your past, and you have set a new, powerful intention for your future. The alchemy has been performed. The inner shift has occurred. Remember the essence of this journey. The guilt you carried was never yours to keep. It was simply a signal pointing you toward what needed to be healed. Today, you answered that call. You chose freedom. You chose peace. You chose worthiness. This is a choice you must continue to make every single day, in the small moments and the big decisions. The path of the alchemist is one of continuous refinement, of turning ever denser aspects of ourselves into light. This work with money is but one facet of that great work. As you continue on this path, be gentle with yourself. Celebrate your progress, and know that you are not alone. A whole community of fellow alchemists walks beside you. As our time together concludes, I want to guide your attention to what comes next. On the left, you will find our playlist, The Foundations of Abundance. It is the perfect place to continue building upon the powerful groundwork we have laid today. And on the right, you will find a video the universe has selected specifically for your journey next. Trust the guidance. It is the next right step for you. And of course, if you have not already done so, I invite you to subscribe and join our circle so that we may continue to walk this path together. This is Elias Vance, reminding you, abundance is not something you acquire. It is something you become. The greatest wealth you will ever own is the knowledge of who you truly are.